BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
Right, we are back. We have UFC 309 coming up this weekend. I want to apologize for last week. I've been just sick as shit, so I wasn't able to make those picks for the Prates Magny card. That was a good fight, though, man. Prates is a monster. I would love to see him fight like a Sean Brady. That would be a really good fight. Even an MVP, that would be a good fight, too. A nice little striking matchup there. But, yeah, this weekend we got Bones Jones, the return of the best fighter in the world, according to Dana White and most people. You know, in my opinion, you know, he's probably your greatest of all time when it comes to MMA, right? Now, that being said, there's a difference between, because people say, okay, if he's the greatest of all time, why isn't he pound for pound number one? And that's just due to the activity, right? Like, he hasn't fought in a few years. You know, he's not as active as he once was. So that's why he's probably not in the pound for pound top 3 guys, right? But he's still, you can be the greatest of all time and you can still be, but you know, it might not be the best player in the league. It was like when Jordan was on the Wizards, like he was still the greatest basketball player to ever live, but you know, he's not the top guy in the league anymore due to his age and, you know, activity, blah, blah, blah. And that's sort of what you're seeing here with Bones Jones. But man, they have him as a minus 725 favorite. That's crazy. That's disrespectful towards Stipe. I know Stipe's 42, but stylistically, he's a tough matchup for John Jones, man. I mean, John Jones is not going to be able to go in there and take Stipe down and sub him the way he did Cyril Gane. Stipe has a very good wrestling background. He can wrestle his ass off, and his jiu-jitsu is not bad. It's not as good as John Jones, of course, and John Jones, you know, training with Gordon Ryan, his jiu-jitsu is legit as it gets. I do think John Jones is the better striker out of the two. Definitely got that reach advantage. However, John Jones is not known for one punch knocking people unconscious, right? Like a Francis Ngannou or something like that. He's not that guy. So I have a feeling this fight is going to go into the later rounds. I can see John Jones getting a later finish, but I can also see this fight going to decision. I have a feeling this fight might go to decision. I think John Jones should probably get the decision victory here. But Stipe is no walkover, man. Stipe is a monster. He's a guy who, you know, was greatest heavyweight in UFC history. You know, obviously, I think Cain Velasquez is probably one of the greatest heavyweights. But, you know, on paper, Stipe's got more title defenses. And so, let's see here. John Jones has been flawless, man. He's been absolutely flawless. Let's see here. Have they not? So it still says John Jones has a loss on his record. I thought they overturned that one with Matt Hamill. Or maybe they did. Maybe that one is to the no contest with DC. I have no idea, to be honest. But yeah, Dwight Jones. Yeah, he's a monster, man. I think everyone's just every literally comment you see on John Jones's thing or UFC 309, the count, all the messages, all the comments, it's just the same as John Jones is scared of Tom Aspinall, and I don't think that's the case. John Jones is not scared of Tom Aspinall. Does he think that's a tough fight? Absolutely. But, you know, I think if Tom Aspinall was a bigger name, I think that fight might be more appealing, right? Because at the end of the day, what sells more pay-per-views? Aspinall or Pereira? I can guarantee you Alex Pereira versus John Jones sells double the pay-per-views as Aspinall versus John Jones. And that's just facts. And if you're John Jones, you're looking to make the most money, right? So you can ride off into the sunset. John Jones may only have 1 or 2 fights left. So you're looking to make the most money as possible before you're able to retire, right? Think about it. If you were about to retire, you're looking to make the most money possible, and then you're like, hey, I'm not going to be making this type of money for a while or ever, so you got to make that money right now. And I'm telling you, Jon Jones versus Pereira is the fight to make, man. That's the money fight. And everyone's going to think, oh, Tom Aspinall is the best heavyweight. No, he's not. The best heavyweight, I determine who the best heavyweight is when I look at the odds, right? What does that mean? So let's say right now the middleweight champ is DDP, Dricus du Plessis, right? But is he the best guy in that division? No. How do I determine that? Let's say he fights Khamzat tomorrow. Who's the favorite? Who does odds makers, the best odds makers in the world, has as a favorite? Clearly, Khamzat's going to be the favorite going against DDP. He's going to be the favorite against anyone in that middleweight division. Therefore, Khamzat Chimaev is the best fighter in that middleweight division. That's how the way the odds makers see it. Let's say PFL goes bankrupt tomorrow, which very well possibly could happen. They're not making much money. UFC could even buy PFL just to have Ngannou back, whatever. I know Dana's mad at him, whatever, but money's money. Dana loves money. If Aspinall fights Ngannou next weekend, who's the favorite in that? I can guarantee you Francis Ngannou would be the favorite against Tom Aspinall. And as well he should be. I think Tom Aspinall gets his head knocked off by Francis Ngannou. Francis Ngannou, I think, just destroys Tom Aspinall. He knocks him out on the feet, and he's got a pretty decent ground game as well, does Ngannou. He can stuff takedowns, he can grapple now as well. So now who wins between Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou? They've actually had those odds up before, and Jon Jones and Francis Ngannou were dead even odds, and that's a coin flip. And Jon Jones was willing to take the Ngannou fight. It was Ngannou who wanted to leave the UFC, go to the boxing, get a little more money, whatever. Get some brain damage like he did. His life might never be the same after that Joshua fight. He's a grappler now. You get knocked out by Joshua, you turn grappler now. Ngannou's a grappler now. But yeah, man, Jon Jones, the real deal. I would love to see him get this victory against Stipe. I hope Pereira takes out Ankalaev, and that's the fight to make at heavyweight. Jon Jones, Pereira, heavyweight championship. That's the money fight. And then Aspinall, I would love to see him versus Ngannou. If they can somehow buy the PFL, or PFL is going to go bankrupt in the near future, they need to get that Aspinall-Ngannou fight. That's a great fight, by the way. And, if Jon Jones beats Pereira, then, yeah, maybe you do him versus Aspinall or whatever it may be. But I just, Aspinall, I do feel bad for him. He's sort of out in the wings there, but it is what he is. He's a young guy, man. He's going to be just fine. Jon Jones, the GOAT, and I think he should be able to get this one done. It's not going to be a walkover. It's not going to be an easy fight by any means, but, age 42, Stipe Miocic, he's not in his late 30s, or mid-30s anymore, so that's tough. He's been inactive for a little while here. It's a tough fight for Stipe, man, but Stipe's a dog. He's a dog, man. So, but I'm going to go with Jon Jones, I think, by decision. If he does get a finish, it's going to be, I think, third, fourth, fifth round later on in the fight. This one is interesting. Do Bronx taking on Michael Chandler. This right here is going to be your fight of the night, in my opinion. Charles Oliveira, man, this guy is an absolute machine, and he's so exciting to watch. Every fight you see him in, it's exciting. It's fireworks. His last fight was Sarukian. I thought Sarukian was going to dominate Charles Oliveira. I'm not going to lie. I bet Sarukian to dominate. He did win. I got the money for the win, but man, it was no walkover. It was a tough fight, man. Charles Oliveira is a monster. His jiu-jitsu is unreal. His striking is very, very good, crisp. His chin is a little, he gets clipped, he gets dropped, but he's got heart, right? And if you don't knock him unconscious, he's coming back, man. That guy's like the boogeyman. And yeah, I think Chandler here, he taken a little too much time off. He thought he was going to get that Conor McGregor fight, the money fight. You know, everyone is giving him hate for taking the time, but everyone would have done it, man. When you got that type of money being offered to you for that Conor McGregor fight, and you see those pay-per-view buys, and you see the live gate breaking records, of course he's going to sit on the sidelines. I mean, of course, he's making more money fighting Conor McGregor than he would have fought all of his UFC fights together. Combined, he would have made more money in the Conor fight just from pay-per-view buys. Yeah, man, I think I'm going to go with Charles Oliveira on this one, but don't be surprised if Chandler clips him and clips him early. I just hope that the ref doesn't give it an early stoppage, because Charles Oliveira is known for getting hurt and coming back. Everyone is counting out Chandler in this fight, right? Everyone is counting him out. Don't count him out, man. He's a dog. He can hit hard. He's in great shape, as if you can see right now. He's back training with Henry Hooft and the boys and Kamaru Usman. The guy's a machine, man. He's in great shape. He looks, I mean, if you were to see his physique, you'd think he's on the juice, but I think he might be natty, man. He's getting drug tested pretty. And that being said, I don't know if he's done them previously, but clearly they've been testing him. It's not like he's living in Russia or Brazil where the drug testers can't go and test him. But the thing is with Michael Chandler, in his last 4 fights, he's only had 1 win. So he's got 1 win in his last 4 fights, and that 1 win was over Tony Ferguson, who's like age 50 now in MMA years. So. But those fights he did have with Gaethje, with Poirier, those were, those are dog fights, man. And, he did knock out Dan Hooker, the Hangman, who's known for being durable, right? Knocking out the Hangman. That's impressive, man. This one, Bo Nickel versus Paul Craig. I feel bad for Paul Craig, man. Why would you even take the fight, man? 36 years old, 8 years older than Bo Nickel. Bo Nickel is a monster, insane wrestler. Striking is not bad as well. He should be able to just destroy Paul Craig. I actually think he's going to knock out Paul Craig on the feet. If he's smart, probably don't take Paul Craig down, because Paul Craig is known for having a super, super dangerous guard. His guard is ridiculous, and he throws up triangles from every which angle. Don't believe me? Ask Krylov. Ask Magomed Ankalaev. Submitted him with 5 seconds left. The guy's a monster, and he's coming down from 205. He's had a few fights now at middleweight, but he is a big middleweight. 6'3", 185. He's a guy who's previously fought at light heavyweight, but unfortunately for Paul Craig, you're just fighting Bo Nickel, man. Bo Nickel's a monster, and if you talk to any collegiate wrestler guys or guys who love watching amateur freestyle wrestling, they'll tell you the same thing. Wait till Hamzat fights Bo Nickel, or Bo Nickel's gonna run through everybody. Let's hold the brakes here. I mean, I'm a Bo Nickel fan, but absolutely do not put him against Hamzat just yet. He definitely needs to work a bit of an experience. I truly think he's gonna have a hard time with some of the top guys in the middleweight division. I think even a guy like Fluffy Hernandez gives Bo Nickel a very difficult time. Fluffy Hernandez is a monster, and I think that's a tough fight for Bo Nickel. But Bo Nickel, he's only got 6 fights, man. Give him some experience, give him some time, let him work his striking a bit. Clearly, the ground game is phenomenal for him. High-level wrestler. And, yeah, man, Bo Nickel should easily get this one down. They're just trying to build him up for sure. So that's why you put him against the Paul Craig. Mauricio Rufy, this guy's One Shot. Nickname One Shot. He's a monster. Great striking. He's been knocking everybody senseless. He's on a 5 or 6 fight win streak, all finishes. Fought Jamie Malarkey his last fight and just destroyed Jamie Malarkey. Flying knee, finished him in the first. The guy's a monster. Minus 1,000, same odds as Bo Nickel here. It's just, why even put these fights on if you're going to have a minus 1,000 odds? That's not a fight. That's just easy money. Easy, it's just easy to predict. It just makes no sense. It's not really a fight. You see boxing odds. These are boxing odds. Minus 1,000 plus 600. Those are boxing odds. But yeah, Ruffy just destroys him. Jonathan Martinez taking on Marcus McGee. I'll go with the over on that one. This one's interesting. Chris Weidman, age 40, taking on Eric ya boy Anders. I don't know about this one, man. Eric Anders has not been looking good lately, and Chris Weidman is, I don't even know why he's doing it, bro. Why are you doing it? Let's see here. Let's just look up Eric ya boy Anders here. So he's having some grappling matches in Fury. His last fight, he did get a win over Jamie Pickett. Yeah, not too good, man. He hasn't been looking too good as of lately. And Chris Weidman did get a win over Bruno Silva. Before that, he lost to Brad Tavares. And of course, before that was the crazy broken leg injury to Uriah Hall. Bruno Silva win was, it was impressive, but I'm going to go with Eric Anders on this one, just the activity. I just think Eric Anders should be able to get this one done. Jim Miller still doing the damn thing, taking on Damon Jackson here. I'm going to go with Jim Miller on this one. I think he might be able to get this one done. I'm going to go with your boy Jim Miller on this one. David Onama, he doesn't have that opponent. Oh, Tibera taking on Jonathan Denise, the Glory kickboxer, who's actually supposed to fight Derek Lewis last weekend, and Derek Lewis pulled out. Some issues there, and now they rescheduled him a week later, which is fine because he's not cutting weight anyways, right? If you had to cut weight and then have to cut weight again another week later, that would have been tough. But, heavyweights, he's not cutting much weight, not at all, actually. And I think if Tibera wants to go in there and strike with Jonathan Denise, I think it's going to be a short night for Marcin Tibera. But if Marcin Tibera wants to go in there and grapple, that's probably his ways to victory. I'm going to go with Jonathan Denise on that one, just because he is a heavy hitter, very good striker. And hopefully if he can keep it on the feet, I think he should be able to knock out Tibera on that one. Mickey Gall is back. 7 wins, 6 losses, and he's the favorite here. This is crazy. I'm not even gonna bet on this. Give you a prediction on this one. This is weird. I don't know why he's even back. That is a horrible record, man. 7 wins, 6 losses. If he loses this one, that's 7-7. It doesn't get much worse than that unless you have more losses than you do wins, which, it's crazy. Yeah, Mickey Gall, he's coming off 3 straight losses, and now you're probably his easiest opponent coming up. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe Mickey Gall might actually get a win here. But this is probably going to be a decision victory. I have a feeling it's going to go to decision. That's crazy, man. Mickey Gall still doing the damn thing. Basil Hafez, Habibi. He's a very good wrestler, this Habibi guy, Hafez. If you guys ever watched his fight with Jack Della Maddalena, he almost beat Jack Della Maddalena. He was out grappling JDM. And he was looking real good in that fight. And then his last fight, he had Mickey Gall, completely dominated Mickey Gall. Now he's taking on a big step up in competition, taking on Obon Elliott, who is on a roll. Obon Elliott has got a 7-fight win streak. The Welsh gangster fighting out of England, Wales, I believe. Maybe he's born in England, but fighting out of Wales. Something like that. I'm going to go with the underdog on this one. I think his performance, Basil Hafez's performance against JDM, was so impressive to me that I think if he can go in there, he can do that to Obon Elliott. I don't think Obon Elliott is on the level of a Jack Della Maddalena. So if you got a split decision with JDM in a close fight, I think he might be able to get the victory here. So I'm going to go with the underdog on this one, Basil Hafez. And not a bad card. I mean, for this weekend, we got, that co-main is absolute fire. The main event, absolute fire. Bo Nickel, they're just giving him a feeder fight. Like they're just feeding Paul Craig to him. But it is what it is, man. That's what you got to do if you want to build these stars up. You got to sort of give them those easy fights and build up their name and record, and then you throw them into the title pictures and stuff like that. But I'm excited, man. John Bones Jones, the return. Man, if Stipe goes out here, and let's say worst case scenario, Stipe goes out and beats John Jones, whichever way, gets lucky, whatever, you're going to see a rematch. You're going to see an instant rematch, and if John Jones wins in the rematch, you're going to see a rubber match. So I can truly tell you that if Stipe wins here this weekend, there's going to be 2 more fights of the same matchup. So hopefully John Jones gets that one done. If you guys need a place to bet, BetUS, promo code Iceman. Out.